Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're inside today with Capricorn. He's hanging out. And this is DK hanging out as well because DK's crazy and he's a barn cat and I don't know why he's in here. Capricorn's in here because he lives in here. I don't know what he's doing. We're just, doesn't matter. Moving on. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about a medical issue that you generally can deal with at home unless it develops into an infection. And this medical issue, whenever someone brings it up, there's a whole lot of arguing and a whole lot of people going back and forth. I'm talking about sore hocks. Okay, now sore hocks is when the fur on the bottom of their feet, of a rabbit's foot, wears away and sores or ulcers develop. So if you look at the bottom, Cap's feet, look at how fuzzy the bottom of these feet are. Okay, they're crazy fuzzy. So if you were to take that fuzz away, you would be left with skin that is actually really delicate. Rabbit skin is actually quite delicate. And what would happen then is they would develop sores or ulcers on their feet, and these can actually get infected. So sore hocks is actually really common. And it's also really bad for the rabbit. Okay, so you do not want sore hocks. You want to fix it if it happens and do your best to prevent it. It's usually on the hind feet. Sometimes it can be on the front feet, but since most of a rabbit's weight is back here on their butt, their hind feet are more likely to develop sores and ulcers. It is very painful, very, very painful, and a rabbit actually might rock back on their heels. It's not technically their heel, but they might rock back on what looks like their heels in order to relieve the pain. They'll probably look lethargic, and they'll almost certainly lose weight because they'll kind of stop eating because they don't want to move around because it hurts. Okay? It is a very bad thing. Left untreated, your rabbit will die. So, what causes it? Here's where the fighting starts. Because someone's going to bring up wire floors. Before I talk about wire floors, and we all know I don't love wire floors, but before I talk about wire floors, let's talk about some of the actual causes of sore hocks. So it can be caused by a dirty or damp environment. So if your cage is kept so wet that the fur kind of falls out, then their feet are susceptible to sore hocks. If they have really long nails can change the way they sit, which can then damage their feet, and that leads to sore hocks. If you have really unsuitable or really, really rough flooring for your rabbit, so like sisal carpeting, I've seen people put their rabbits on sisal carpeting and that wears the fur off, that can lead to sore hocks. Excessive thumping. This one is hard to do something about. If you have a rabbit that is just so temperamental that he's crazy and he's always thumping at you, then you can actually end up with sore hocks from all the thumping. Yeah, all the bunny thumping. We don't want bunny thumping. Bunny thumping can lead to sore hocks, and that one's hard to fix because they're just thumping. Because it's them and they're thumping. Hi, DK. It can also be breed specific. Now, I'm actually talking about Rexes here. This isn't a Rex. Cap's not a Rex. But breed specific is important here because Rexes have less fur on the bottoms of their feet anyway. So Rexes can develop sore hocks a lot easier than a lot of breeds. So sometimes you just have a couple of Rexes and they're always getting sore hocks, and it's because the breed is prone to it. So you have to take extra precautions to protect them from that. Okay? So here's where I'm going to talk about wire floors. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know I don't love keeping rabbits on wire floors. I just don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea. But wire floors in and of themselves do not cause sore hocks. Okay? People will say it does. It doesn't. You can keep rabbits on wire floor without having rabbits that have sore hocks. Hi. He's just mooches. Moochies. Boop the snoot. Boop the snoot. Hi, buddy. He's a very good boy. Anyway. So, you can keep your rabbits on wire floors for years and never have sore hocks. So, it's not specifically caused by wire floors. Still, it can be exacerbated by wire floors. So if you have a rabbit that gets sore hocks and you keep them on wire floors, get them out of the wire floor. Because even though the wire floor itself doesn't cause sore hocks, it makes it worse. Okay, because now they already have damaged feet. They're on a surface that can cause more damage because there's already damage. So wire floors don't cause it, but they can make it worse once it starts. It's for that reason that I recommend not keeping Rexes on wire, just because they're really susceptible to sore hocks because they have really thin fur. Because it's a breed trait. I mean, they have that beautiful plush fur, but their fur on the bottom of their feet, there's not a ton of it. So the bottom of his feet have a ton of fur. Okay, like he's got a ton of fur on his feet. Rexes do not. You're pretty tolerant. The reason we're using Cap is because he's really patient. But Rexes don't have that. So don't keep your Rexes on wire floors if you can avoid it. It's just better they're prone to sore hocks. It happens all the time. Okay, so wire floors do not cause sore hocks. They can make it worse once you already have sore hocks. Okay, and you probably shouldn't keep rabbits that are prone to sore hocks on wire floors. So what do you do if your rabbit does have sore hocks? Okay, so to fix it, you want to move the rabbit to a solid, dry, but soft surface. So maybe a wooden floor with a nice bunny bed or some nice soft flooring, things like that. You want to clean up the area, the feet. You want to clean the feet and use an antibiotic ointment like Polysporin or Neosporin without pain relief to help encourage healing. You want to keep that rabbit quiet if you can. So you want to move them to a location where they won't be bothered, kind of a quiet, darker location, and just encourage them to kind of not move around a ton. Hi, buddy. Kind of not move around a ton until they are healed. Okay? If you have a rabbit that is prone to sore hocks, so that your rabbit either is a Rex or your rabbit has had sore hocks more than once, then you're going to want to keep that rabbit in a condition where he's not going to get sore hocks automatically. Okay, so you want to keep him on a solid floor with soft bedding. You just want to make sure that he's safe and is not going to get sore hocks. So if you have a rabbit that's prone to sore hocks, get him off wire floor, get him off rough flooring, provide him with a nice solid floor and nice soft bedding so that there's a lot of flex for him. That's one of the reasons we keep Rexes on the grass outside. So you notice they run around on the ground. They don't have wooden hutches or anything like that they're locked in. They're running around on the ground because there's more give in the ground. So it reduces the likelihood that they'll develop sore hocks. These guys live inside on solid floors because they run around in the house. So they are less prone to developing sore hocks, so I'm not worried about them running around on the hard floors because it's not really an issue for these guys. But Rexes, I'd be less inclined to keep Rexes on a solid floor or even a wire floor. For them, you want something where they can really protect their feet and keep them safer, because Rexes are prone to it. You're going to have people who are like, well, I've had Rexes for 30 years and they've never had sore hocks and I keep them on wire. That's great. I'm glad. I am so happy that you don't have to deal with sore hocks. That's excellent. But that doesn't change the fact that Rexes are more prone to sore hocks. Okay, that it's just the way it is. They are more prone to it, and they absolutely do better if they're not kept on wire and they're not kept on really, really hard flooring. You want to give them something where they can really rest their feet, nice foam mats, carpet that's not rough so it doesn't wear away the fur, stuff like that. So, and if you have a rabbit that chronically gets sore hocks, even if it's not a Rex, you're going to also want to keep them like that. Okay, because it can happen. Just because you're not a Rex doesn't mean you're not going to get sore hocks. Rexes are more prone to it, but any rabbit can get sore hocks. There's a fly in here that's driving me bananas. Anyway, hi DK. You're such a pretty boy. Such a pretty boy. Anyway, that literally is it about sore hocks. If the feet get an infection, you definitely want to take them into the vet to get the proper medication. But otherwise, short of it getting infected, you can deal with sore hocks at home. Okay, you can just treat it at home. Everybody gets better. People do it all the time. You could treat it at home. But if you get an infection setting in, take your rabbit straight to the vet. So that is it for sore hocks. Wire floors do not cause sore hocks. They do exacerbate them. So the truth of whether wire floors cause sore hocks, somewhere in the middle. Anyway, that's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. We'll see you tomorrow.